Hey there, gang. There it is. These are all the comic books I brought home from my local comic book store this past week. I'm going to tell you what I bought, why I bought them. We'll have a little bit of a discussion along the way. So if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is a pull list episode. All of the comic books that I brought home from my local comic book store that were released on March 9th and 10th. So we'll go through these. I'll tell you what I bought, why I bought them. Can't really give you a review because I haven't had a chance to read most of these books yet. But again, we'll talk about why certain things appealed to me as opposed to other things. So please do like, share, subscribe, do all of the groovy things. Leave a comment, especially if you would like to be entered to win this World of Smallville PVC set that you're looking at right here. I'll be giving that away once I reach 247 subscribers. All you need to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. Batman Urban Legends. And I got this book primarily because Chip Zdarsky is one of the creators, one of the writers in here. I've really liked what he's done on Daredevil. I wanted to see what he could do on Batman. These friggin' books, though, look at all the fingerprints in here. And my hands are pretty clean, I don't know if that's from me or from, the retailer or somebody else along the way. But these friggin' books from DC, I wish they weren't printed as though they are high-end collectibles. I wish they would be printed, as comic books are intended to be, consumer goods. Because again, most DC comics these days, you can't touch the friggin' things. And actually this goes for Marvel as well, without getting friggin' fingerprints all over them. So anyway, this is an anthology. It's not a cheap anthology. It is $8. So we'll have to see if there is enough here to make it worth $8 to me. I'm somewhat dubious. I believe this is a limited series, so I don't know how many issues I will be sticking around for. And the other thing too is somebody needs to talk to DC about its marketing, about its branding. I mean, apart from there being way too many Batman books, like 46% of the line is Batman or Batman adjacent, it has books coming up titled Batman Urban Legends, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, and Batman, what is the other one? Dark Legend. So you've got 3 books that are pretty similar in content, not just Batman, but the apparent themes of those books, all with very similar titles. And so, it's a good thing that normies don't buy comic books anymore, because normies would be confused as a motherfucker. I know the algorithm probably won't like me saying that, but Joker. I almost did not order this because I'm not too keen on the criminal being the main antagonist. And that's not any kind of Victorian notion of what literature should be on my part. It's mainly because I don't know how well or how long that can be sustained. So, but from what I understand, this is effectively a Commissioner Gordon book more than a Joker book. Of course, that also makes me wonder how long that can be sustained. Maybe it would have been better to call this, a revival of Gotham Central. I don't know, but we'll see. But it seems like there's not a lot of Joker in this Joker book. It's a great cover, though, and I normally am not one for just, pose covers, but that is a cover that I think would make you kind of pick it up and take notice. But it's also a cover that's a very heavy stock, very, thick, glossy inks that you can't touch without getting fingerprints in it. Superman number 29. This is the start of the Philip Kennedy Johnson. Is that the name? Yeah, Philip Kennedy Johnson. So here's a double page spread that's, completely pointless. And there's not really much going on here, it doesn't look like. I got this book. I ordered, jumped back on with the Superman books, really on the advice of Wes, the Thinking Critical channel with Wes. He has been very laudatory of this Philip Kennedy Johnson, whom I don't really know. But I have to tell you, I got the House of L book, and Wes and others praised that book. I thought it wasn't very good at all. I deemed that book, yeah, aggressively mediocre. And for the people who say that, oh well, this Johnson, as opposed to Brian Michael Bendis, he gets Superman. Well, in that book, that House of L, that wasn't my idea of Superman at all. Just showing up and telling his woe-begotten son, who has just rampaged across the galaxy, murdering tens of thousands, perhaps millions of people, and just shows up and says, "Oh, come with me. I'll teach you how to be a hero." No, 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 no. you, I just, the real Superman, my real Superman, would have, struggled, not even struggled with, but would have been like, you have to face justice for what you have done, and it pains me, although you are my son, but that's what's right. So I don't know how much I'm gonna like this thing. I may not stick with it very long. Wonder Woman 770. This was not on my pull list. This was kind of an impulse buy off the stands. And I kind of got it because it seems like kind of a cross between Thor and Conan, which is kind of an interesting, different take on Wonder Woman. So I thought I'd give it a try and see how it goes. So those are the books that came out on March 9th. The rest came out on March 10th. The rest were distributed by Diamond. The previous books of DC came out through Lunar. Children of the Atom was supposed to come out before COVID, and as I recall, it was on my pull list that first time out. But the reason I think is because I misunderstood what it was. A few years ago, when they brought back the original X-Men in their teen years, they jumped them forward in time. I bought that book and enjoyed it for a while until it just I realized the pacing was absolutely glacial and nothing was ever going anywhere. But I did enjoy that book, and it was referred to as Children of the Atom. So I thought this was going to be a continuation of that to some degree. It's not, apparently. But I'll be honest with you, the reason I picked this up is by the time I got to the comic book store, and I did not get there until Friday this past week, there were already some reviews out, and none of them were very complimentary at all. They really took Vita Ayala to task for this book, and so I basically wanted to see if it was as bad as people say. So that's $5 is a lot to pay for that. And the funny thing is, I have noticed I've seen a couple of positive reviews, but all of the positive reviews I've seen don't really talk about the book. They just talk about Vita Ayala and inclusion of gay and transgender characters and things like that. Although, from what I understand from the other reviews, there's not a lot of that in this book. So I don't know if I'm going to know really what to make of this, but basically, this is the equivalent of slowing down to see the train wreck as you drive by. I just wanted to see how bad a train wreck that actually is. Daredevil. Now, you've seen me in a previous video be kind of critical of Chip Zdarsky's work on Stillwater over at Image, but I've really, really liked his Daredevil. And so that is something that I enjoy. And if you are not reading Daredevil, I think maybe you should be. Deep Beyond, number 2 from Image. I had the first issue, but I haven't got around to reading it yet. So I can't really tell you much about this book. So if you've been reading Deep Beyond, you tell me, is this any good? The Goon, number 13. And this book, this was actually scheduled for release back in November. I love The Goon. I have no idea why this book is so late. I don't know if The Goon creator and Albatross Funny Books publisher Eric Powell was just late on the book, or if there was an issue at Diamond, or if there was an issue with my retailer, or what. But again, this was originally slated for release in November, and it finally is. I'm just getting it now, so I don't know what the deal is there. But that's the Goon. Carmen. I don't remember why I ordered this book. Frankly, I think I was just looking to fill out my budget and just picking Image releases about 12 new number ones every every month. I think I just picked the one that seemed to the solicitation appealed to me the most. But I can't actually remember anything about it at this point 2 months later. It looks interesting. It looks like there'll be something there to work with as far as something to sink my teeth into. The art is nice, but I don't really know much about it. Other than the other thing, though, to say about this book is it is part of this recent trend, the zeitgeist, if you will, in the comic book industry seems to be young female protagonists in a kind of fantasy situation. And so this is right in that mold, as is this next book, Luna. And I can't remember why I ordered Luna either, although, this is the second issue. I have number one, haven't got around to reading it. I think I got it just because I like the cover and preview artwork for number one. Although here, as I look through number two, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. So I don't know. I'll have to look through that. But this is the same thing. Young female protagonist thrown into an unfamiliar world, a fantasy setting. Nottingham. This is actually the first book I have ever purchased from Mad Cave Comics, and this was something where I was trying to fill up my budget and looking for something new, something different, and I'm like, well, how can you go wrong with a medieval theme? Let's see what that's all about. So I'll let you know how this book is. Spectre Inspectors from Boom, or its kids line, Boombox. And this is another one where we're on the second issue. I have the first one, but I haven't got around to reading it yet. I'm really, really way behind on my reading. So again, let me know if you got this book and what you thought of it, the first issue at least. But the reason, well, there's two reasons I ordered this. One is it seemed like kind of a Scooby-Doo kind of a thing. Although, you know what? As I look at this, with 12 words to a page and a lot of, well, there's more panels here, I guess. I still think this book is going to read in about 6 or 7 minutes. But anyway, it seemed like kind of a Scooby-Doo thing, and just the title, Spectre Inspectors, it just screamed fun to me. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Strange Academy. I have liked Strange Academy, and along with Daredevil, it is the only ongoing book I am currently buying from Marvel. And this has been a good, fun book. There's a few flaws here and there, but they're only flaws because I'm reading the book critically rather than just sinking in. If I just sunk in, I'd probably let a lot of those, blow right over. The only thing that, Humberto Ramos is a great artist. He bugged me a few years ago when he said he wasn't going to go to any conventions in states that voted for Donald Trump. And that just offended me, even though I personally did not vote for Donald Trump. I did not vote for him in 2016. I did not vote for him in 2020. I have voted Libertarian every year since 1992. So maybe even longer than you've been alive. But I was just mortally offended at that. And especially because, my state is one of two that splits its electoral votes. And so, Maine has 4 electoral votes. 3 went to the Democrat in 2016 and again in 2020, and 1 went to Trump. So it's like, okay, well, are you just not going to do conventions in that part of the state that voted for Trump? But luckily, Ramos hasn't, or at least I haven't seen where he's been that much of an ass since then. So it's been fairly easy. It's not like a Tom King or a Dan Slott or somebody where in this case I'm able to separate the artist from the art, even though Again, that really annoyed me, and I think about it every time I pick up this book, and I have to just sort of tell myself, okay, maybe he's not a complete asshole. Maybe he just said one stupid thing. Relax, enjoy the book. And finally, I hope you've lasted this long because I want to tell you about The Wrong Earth, Night and Day. This is my very favorite comic book currently being published. It's from Ahoy Comics. It is written by Tom Peyer, who, if you are like me, a Legion of Superheroes fan, you will remember him from the early 90s, the so-called reboot era of the Legion. He was one of the main architects of that. And that name recognition is why I initially bought this book. And this is the third miniseries in this kind of ongoing series of linked miniseries. Each one is 4 issues. The first one is called The Wrong Earth, and I never saw that. I missed it. And if you have those issues at your local store, let me know because I'd like to buy them. The second miniseries was called Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man. And then this one reverts to the original title, The Wrong Earth, Night and Day. So anyway, the deal with this is the story of Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, who are basically like the Batman of Earth 1 and Earth 2. You've got kind of a Golden Age version known as Dragonfly Man, and he's, again, very much like the Golden Age Batman. And then you have the Dragonfly, who is very much in the Bronze Age motif of Batman, a little grimmer, a little grittier, more of a Dark Knight detective, if you will. Instead of, as opposed to, the colorful hero fighting the colorful villains with the fantastic, colorful traps. And so anyway, on this third mini-series, they've switched Earths. Dragonfly has found himself on, again, what I'm calling the Earth 2 version, the Golden Age version, the Dragonfly Man world. Dragonfly Man has found himself on the dark or comparatively a grimmer Earth 1 or Bronze Age Earth. And so they're both kind of fish out of water. And so anyway, this has just been a very fun book. I've really, really enjoyed this book, this series. And I recommend it to you. See, there they are right there. There is Dragonfly Man and Dragonfly. So yeah, I recommend this book to you, especially the previous one. I can't say of the 3 because the first one I never got, but of the 2 that I've read, the Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, and I said I think they're all 4 issues. I think that one was actually 5. This one might be 5 as well. And then this one, The Wrong Earth, Night and Day. I think I like the other one a little better, but I like them both very, very much. I recommend this to you. This is currently my favorite book being published. So there you go. That's the haul. That's everything that I got at my local comic book store. Let me know what you got. If you purchased any of these books yourself, what did you think of them? Let me know in the comments below. If your favorite book came out this past week and you don't see it here, let me know. Maybe I can find that book somewhere and maybe I will become a fan of it as well. But beyond that, that may not be everything there is to say about these books, but by glory, that's all I know. So until the next video, more Drew is here to say goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.